New York City's Democrat Socialist mayor is declaring war on landlords again.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani rolling out a new fast-track court system for what the city calls critical cases, putting more pressure on landlords to make repairs.
Oh, but here's the kicker. How are landlords supposed to pay for those expensive fixes when this very same mayor just ran through a citywide rent freeze?
Our next guest made this helpful video so Zozo can understand the issue and the real fix.
Almost half of the rental apartments in New York are rent regulated. About 50,000 of them stand empty, many of them because their landlords can't charge enough to make up for the cost of necessary repairs. So how do you lower rents? Build more housing.
That's Wall Street Journal Free Expression senior newsletter editor Emma Camp, and she joins us now. Emma, it's great to have you on the show. Congrats on that video. It's a fantastic piece of work. We hope you do more of it. You were talking there about you can't really lower rents if you're doing the rent freezes, right? All this, but it also gets to the issue of you can't maintain an apartment building if you're squeezing landlords. They don't have money to fix these apartment buildings, and now the mayor wants to take them to this new court and kind of nail them once again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the problems with the housing supply in New York is something like 50,000 apartments stand empty because they're rent regulated or rent controlled, but landlords are legally prohibited from charging enough to earn back the cost of necessary repairs to make those apartments habitable. And I kind of have mixed feelings about this proposal from Mamdani because obviously a lease is a contract. And if your landlord isn't upholding their end of the contract, they should be held to account. You know, we all have had experiences with bad landlords, but I also think it's important to give context here, which is that a lot of the time, if you're tied up with tenants who aren't paying and you have to spend years and years and so many legal fees to evict them, you can end up in a situation where you literally do not have the money in the bank to make repairs that are necessary to keep, paying tenants in a good situation.
It seems like this court, though, is pro-tenant, anti-landlord, the way it's certainly being described, to fast track for critical housing cases. But I thought about it. The tenants who really who are, say, socialist pro-Mamdani, I'm thinking of that Nepo baby record producer, Mamdani, friendo, who she moved into this apartment out in Brooklyn and immediately stopped paying her rent because she saw cockroaches, and she rallied all of the tenants. And then the owner, a Nigerian immigrant owner of the building, went into foreclosure and lost the building. So I think about those tenants, they don't actually want to go to court. They don't want to be forced to pay the rent. So I wonder how much this court's actually going to get used. If it's, if they'll go and say, hey, I really want my landlord to get rid of the roaches. If it means paying their rent, they're not going to go.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable concern. I think that, everybody needs to be sane when it comes to this housing issue. The problem is that a lot of people are not sane. And I think if we had a world in which both landlords and tenants were expected to hold up their ends of the bargain, we would be in a lot better situation.
Can I put my cynicism hat on for a second? I think these courts are designed to get tenants in there, put landlords on the spot, tell them they're not doing a good job, rack up so many violations that the city says, you know what, you can't keep your building anymore. We're not going to let you do that. We're going to try to seize this building. I'm kind of a believer in the city wanting to take these buildings over. Am I being too pessimistic here, Emma?
I don't think you're being too pessimistic at all. This is a very real concern of mine. I think a lot of these socialists want more government-owned housing. In their ideal world, there are no landlords because if you live in a house, it's because the government owns it. And this is 100%, I think, partially a scheme to enable the city to take over more private buildings.
Explain to me how people voted for Mamdani thinking that more New York City run public housing is the answer when our public housing here has had violation after violation. There have been charges by the Department of Justice. There have been bribery scandals, lead poisoning and the like, but somehow they think, again, it's like he's going to make a success out of something that's been an abject failure for decades.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problem here is that people are very naive. You are 100% correct to point out that public housing in New York is often not a nice place to live. They're really not very good apartments. And the difference is that when your landlord doesn't uphold their end of the bargain, you can at least sue them. When the government doesn't uphold their end of the bargain, it's a lot harder to get justice. And so I think what we really need to be doing here is focusing less on these sort of socialist proposals, because I think a lot of times people are in favor of these proposals against all evidence, right? You can point out to them, rent control doesn't work, government-owned housing isn't a very nice place to live, and they will ignore you. And so I think it's better to sort of pivot to like, okay, how can we actually meaningfully increase the housing supply and make more better apartments for people to live?
Well, we like the evidence, and we eagerly anticipate your next video.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us, Emma. Good to see you.
Yeah, as soon as Emma sat down, I just said more.
That's right.